Hi, welcome to Naresh IT. This is Kishore and today we are going to discuss about operator overloading in C++. Now, first of all, what is called operator overloading? Okay, we know that already we have discussed function overloading. Actually, function overloading is what? Defining several functions with the same name, defining several functions with the same name by changing the number of arguments, data type, order. Okay. Now, it is similar to function overloading, but concept is in function overloading we are writing several functions with the same name to do the different task, but in operator overloading the concept is little bit different. What is this? Okay, we know that actually an operator is designed to perform a particular operation. Okay, an operator is used to perform a particular operation on operands. Okay, now the point, for example, I have taken plus operator. We know that actually we are having unary plus and binary plus. Generally unary plus means what? Plus 5. Okay, now here in this example plus is indicating what? 5 is a positive number. Okay, next minus 5. Now here minus is indicating what? 5 is a negative number, and here how many operands are participated? Only one operand. That's why now it is unary plus, it is unary minus. Next, now see this 3 plus 5. Now same plus operator, but here it is going to perform operation on 3 and 5. Okay, here 3 and 5 are called what? Operands, and here how many operands are participated? 2 operands. Now this one is called a binary plus. Okay, here it is the unary plus, it is the binary plus. As usual, suppose 5 minus 3. Now here minus, here it is unary minus and here it is binary minus. Now the point is here 5 5 or 3 3 5 5. Actually what they are? They are a predefined data types, means what? Integer value. For example 1.2 plus 3.3. Actually they are what? Floating data type. Actually they are floating data type, and here what they are? Integer data type. That means all these operators are designed to work with predefined data types. Okay, here the most important point is an operator is a special symbol. An operator is a special symbol which is designed to perform a particular operation on predefined data types on. Okay, only on predefined data types. But my requirement, okay, for example object 1 is there and object 2 is there. Okay, here object 1 is there, object 2 is there. Now I want to add the object 1 and object 2. Actually objects are what? Instances of the classes. We know that object is a variable of type class, or object is the instance of a class, or object is the physical representation of a class. That means when we are operating the objects means nothing but we are operating the classes. Now here one important point is there. Integer, float, character, everything is what? Predefined data types. But class is what? It is a user defined data type. Okay, class is a user defined data type. Now I want to add object 1 and object 2. Now I am going to use plus. I am going to use plus. Actually your system is going to return error here. Now in this situation it is going to give error because of the basic operators. The basic operators are designed to work with basic data types only, means predefined data types. But here object 1, object 2 are what? User defined data types. They never works on user defined data type, because of here it is a operator which is designed to operate the predefined data types. Now to avoid this problem in C++ they have given operator overloading concept. To avoid this problem, in C++ they have introduced the concept of operator overloading. With operator overloading, what we can do? We can add two user defined data types similar to the predefined data types, okay, using the same operator. Here plus is working on predefined data types. Now in same manner, by using operator overloading concept, we can add two user defined data types also by using the same syntax applied for predefined data type. That means generally plus operator have to work on predefined data types only, na, but with operator overloading concept we can work with user defined data type also. That means what? The same operator is used for different purposes. The same operator is doing different operations, na, okay. Now what it is called? Overloading. It is called overloading. That is why we have discussed that overloading is nothing but defining several with the same name to do different tasks. Here also what happened? Defining several means plus, okay, to do different types of operation. Here the operation is what? To perform predefined operands addition. Here user defined operand addition, okay. Now it is possible with the operator overloading concept. That is why generally operators are working on what? Only on predefined data type. By using operator overloading, we can operate user defined data type also by using the same operators, and this mechanism is called operator overloading. That is why here I am going to start operator overloading definition, okay. First operator overloading definition is what? An operator overloading which allows to define a function. See this, okay. For example, in general concept we are going to use the functions to perform a particular operation, okay. But in operator overload what happens? We are using an operator instead of a function to perform a particular operation. That is why operator overloading is the process of using an operator instead of a function to do a particular concept or particular work. It is the definition of operator overloading. That means we are assigning or we are adding special task to the operator. That is why here we are using an operator instead of a function. Next, here we can overload only the existing operators. That means what? We are not able to create new operators using operator overloading concept, okay. Here remember this, we can't create new operators by using operator overloading, but what we can do? We can add additional task to the existing operators using operator overloading. Next, another important thing is we can't change the basic meaning of an operator, okay. Generally plus is doing what? It operates on predefined data types. In operator overloading what happened? It is working on user defined. That means it is still working on predefined data types. It is still working on predefined. That means operator overloading never overwrites the existing behavior of an operator. That means we can't change the basic behavior of an operator, okay. Next, generally in operator overloading we are passing the objects to the objects as the arguments. In operator overloading we are passing objects as arguments, and the most important rule is in operator overloading the left side operand should be is a user defined data type. Okay, that means at least one user defined data type you should have to use in operator overloading concept. Okay, that is why the important rule is in operator overloading at least one user defined data type you should have to provide. And next here some rule is some of the operators are not overloaded. Okay, we can overload all the operators, we can overload all the C++ operators except scope operator, except scope operator. Okay, we can't overload scope operator. Next one, we can't overload dot and dot star member access operators. Okay, we can't overload dot and dot star. That is why we can't overload scope resolution operator or scope operator. And next one, we can't overload dot and dot star means membership operators, member access operators, class member access operator. And we can't overload size of operator, and we can't overload conditional operator means question mark and colon. That is why some of the operators we can't be overloaded using operator overloaded, and basically they are scope operator, membership class member access operator, and size of operator, and conditional operator. We are not able to overload these operators. Now what is the syntax? And one more important rule in operator overloading is, okay, the operator member function means what? The member function or operator should be the member function of same class. Remember this, here whatever the operator, what is the operator we are going to overload. Here operator means what? Instead of, that means operator overloading is nothing but what? Using an operator instead of a function. That means here that operator or function should be member of same class, then only it is possible to overload an operator. That is why here we are sending the objects as arguments to the operators, okay, in operator overloading. Now what is the syntax for operator overloading? I will show you syntax for operator overloading. Actually we have discussed that operator overloading is nothing but it is the process of using an operator instead of a function. That means before going to discuss operator overloading syntax, what is a function definition syntax? Generally function definition syntax, return type, okay, it is the return data type. Okay, later what we are going to use? Function name. Generally we are going to use the function name, and in brackets argument list. Generally we are providing argument list, and here the body and return value. Now body closed. That is why here the point is, it is the general syntax of a function definition. Return data type, integer, a void, a float, a character, function name, and here arguments are available, then arguments, otherwise no. Next function body and return value. Okay, it is the normal syntax for a function. Next, now the topic is what? Operator overloading. Now in operator overloading what happens? Here return data type same, return data type same. Next what happens? In place of function we are going to use first operator keyword. Now here operator is a keyword. First of all you should have to start operator keyword. Next operator symbol. That is all. Okay, here in place of function name, here we are providing first operator keyword, and later the operator which one we are going to overload, that symbol, plus minus sign to no percentage greater than, like that. That is why now the syntax becomes return data type, operator keyword, next symbol, argument list. Now watch this carefully, it is nothing but what? Function. It is nothing but function, but in place of function we are using operator and operator symbol. That's all. That's why I have defined operator overloading is what? It is the process of using an operator instead of a function. That's why here an operator is what? Nothing but a function. That's why here the plus operator or minus operator, what it is? Nothing but a function. That's why we are giving special meaning for the operator. In operator overloading, what happens? We are going to give special task or special meaning to the operator. Moreover, nothing is there. Now I will show you first of all how to use a function, okay, for operator overloading. Means first of all I will show you the example with a function, later the same procedure with operator overloading. Now my example is, suppose I am going to take a class, okay, later I am going to declare data member and functions also. Now I am going to declare two objects of that class and I want to compare both objects are equal or not. And next here one more important point is there. Class is a user defined data type. Structure also user defined data type na. That's why in operator overloading what happens? Okay, the existing operator is used to operate the user defined data types like structures and classes. Okay, in operator overloading what happens? The existing operators are going to operate on user defined data types. Now I will show you with one example. Here the function syntax or operators overloading syntax, and here see this, I have never used the class name because of it is the general syntax. Suppose you are going to define the member function outside the class. Now common, first you have to enter class name, later scope operator, that's it. Moreover nothing is there. That's why here what happened? Whenever the function definition or operator overloading is conducted outside the class, we know the syntax. First you have to use return data type, later class name, later scope operator, next operator keyword symbol, same to same. Okay. Now in this session first of all I am going to show you how to overload comparison operator, means double equal. Okay, in this example I want to show you how to overload double equal, which is called comparison operator, overloading comparison operator. So here program name overloading, okay, double equal operator. Now watch this, how to overload, and by using of this operator I am going to find out both objects are equal or not equal. Okay, and now first of all common header files, hash include iostream.h, as usual hash include conio.h. Next, now I am going to start a class, for example class test. Okay, some example required, that's why class test. Next, okay, here int a, only one data member, okay. Next in public area, okay, here it is the public area. Now I want to read some data, void get, suppose it is the member function, and here directly I am going to write cin only, cin a. We know that cin is going to read a value for a. Okay, finish. Next here I want to conduct one more thing, that is nothing but what? I want to find out which one is the biggest one. Okay, now I want to write a function which is going to find out the biggest one. That's why here I want to find out both objects are equal or not. Na? That's why here what happened? Double equal operator. Actually double equal operator is what? Binary operator. We know that double equal operator is a binary. When it is binary operator, how many arguments we have to send? Means how many operands are required? At least 2. Means we should have to send 2 arguments. That's why here I am going to write like this. First void, okay, void, later Operator overloading syntax is what? Return type. Return type is what? Void. Later compulsorily we have to use operator keyword. Okay, void, here operator. But here one important point is that already I said this point, I want to use one function. Later I am going to use operator. That is why first I want to conduct this example by using a normal function. Okay, that is why there is no operator. In place of this one, okay, I am going to write a function called compare, void compare. Okay, now it is the function name, it is the return data type. Next, to compare the value, how many values required? 2. Okay, one is implicit, another one should be of a explicit. That is why here I am going to write test T2. Now watch this, actually test is what? Class name, and now T2 becomes the object. That is why it is the explicit object we are sending for comparison. Okay, that is why to perform comparison we need at least 2 values because of binary operator. Okay, one is of same object, means calling object, and another one is from outside. Now when it is outside it is called what? Explicit object, when it is inside means implicit. Now here I am going to write like this, if, okay, if condition. Next A, here A means what? Calling object A, here calling object A. Okay, now this A belongs to calling object A. Next, equal to, if A equal to next what? T2 dot A. Okay, now this A is equivalent to explicit T2 object A, means if both this A belongs to, for example, T1, now this A belongs to T2. Now the meaning is what? T1A and T2 both are equal, then C out objects are equal. Next, else C out objects are not equal. Now function closed, class also closed. Okay, now the function closed and class also closed. Okay, that is why here one function name is what? Get. Now get is used to read the value for A, and next another function I have designed, what it is? Compare. The function name is compare, and compare is having one explicit object. Now that object name T2, and I want to compare this A with T2 dot A. If both objects here A's are same, you have to print objects are equal, otherwise you have to show objects are not equal. Okay, fine. Later calling is balanced. Now how to call this one? Okay, in calling main function compulsory. Okay, now main function. Later how many objects we required for this? We are using binary operator, means function, that is why 2 objects. That is why test T1 comma T2. Now 2 objects are created, okay, fine. Now T1 object and T2 object, okay, 2 objects are created, and this object contains the data member what? A. Now here one A is created, here one A is created. Later see this CLR SCR, screen clear. Later here I am going to write like this, C out, okay, C out, enter first object A value. Okay, otherwise clearly you can write like this, enter T1 object, directly you can enter the T1 object name. That is why enter T1 object A value. Now I am going to use T1 dot get. Actually here it is the T1 dot get. Now we are calling T1 dot get, that means we are calling get. Now T1 dot A is going to receive the value because of cin is used. Okay, fine. Later C out, enter T2 object A value. Okay, next T2 dot get. Now this function is going to do what? It is reading once again get, means we are calling the get. Get is reading the value for a, but which one? T2 object. That is why one a is passed to, means one value passed to here 5 and T2 suppose 10. Now T1 dot get is storing the value for T1a, T2 dot get is reading the value for T2a. Now two values are inputted. Now we have to compare. Generally, to compare the objects, the function what I have used, compare. Okay. Now it is a member function of this class now, and we know that every member function should be invoked with the object name only now. That is why here I want to invoke the member function. That is why the rule is what? T1 dot function name is what? Compare. T1 dot compare, and compare is comparing two objects, and here we are having only one object now. That is why we have to send explicit argument, means explicit object. That is why in brackets T2, that is all. Now it is what? Function calling, means member function calling. Okay. When this member function is called, compare means this one. Now in brackets T2 value passed, and on left side which one is there? T1. That is why I said in function calling or member function calling or operator overloading, the left value should be of a object of same class. Okay. In operator overloading or function calling, the main rule is what? The left hand operand should be of the object of same class. That is why here T1 is the object. Okay, fine. Next, T1 means this A belongs to T1, this A belongs to T1, and second one we are sending T2 now. Now this A belongs to T2, and tell me here T1 value is what? 5, T1A 5, and T2A is what? 10. Now 5 equal to 10, condition false. When condition false, it goes to else part, and answer is objects are not equal. That is why T1, T2 they are not equal. Now T1 is having 5, T2 is having 10, they are not equal now. That is why your answer, you are getting objects are not equal. Suppose this time you have used 50 here, here also 50. Okay, this time you have used 50. Now watch it, 50 equal to 50. Yes, condition true. The answer objects are equal. Okay. Now program completed now. That is why get ch and program closed. Now it is using a normal function. It is how to compare by using of normal function, but I want to compare these objects T1 and T2 using double equal operator. That means what is the procedure? Okay. In place of this one, I want to use double equal operator, but double equal operator, it is a predefined operator and it works only on predefined data type. It is the most important thing. Here double equal is a binary operator and it works only on predefined data type, but T1, T2 are what? Objects, means user defined. That is why it is not going to work. Now I want to work with the user defined objects by using of this. Then simple logic, in place of compare function. Okay. Now I am going to strike out this. In place of compare, I am going to use operator symbol. That is all. Here operator, void, same thing, operator. Already I have given the syntax. In place of function name, we are using the operator symbol. Now which symbol I want to use? Double equal. Now use the double equal. That is all. Okay. Now what happened? In place of compare function, we are using operator. That is why my definition is, it is the process of using an operator instead of a function to do a particular task. Next, now it is a definition. Now calling is there now. Calling, how to call? In place of this one. Okay. On left side T1 object, right side T2. That is why here simply T1 equal to T2 semicolon, T1 equal to T2. Okay, and just watch this example. Actually T1 is what? Object. T2 is what? Object. Equal is what? It's an operator. Actually T1 T2 are what? User defined. Now what happened? The equal operator is working on user defined data types also na. Actually the operators are working on predefined data type, but with this logic what happened? Now the same operator is operating on or operating on objects. Objects are what? User defined. That is why operator overloading is the process of what? Using the existing operators, okay, on user defined data types. That is why existing operators can operate predefined data types, but using operator overloading concept we can overload the same operator. That means we can work with the user defined data types also. It is how to overload an operator, and in this example I have covered how to overload double equal or comparison operator. Okay. Now it gives the answer 50-50 na, same objects are equal. Okay. Thank you for watching.